Hello and welcome to Who Rocks New Mexico. I'm Richard Holcomb. Each week we get up close and personal with the companies that rock New Mexico and take you behind the scenes to get the story behind the story. Today we'll meet businessman, balladeer, and buddy to Berkey business owners, Bob Farrell, publisher of the My ABQ and Business Resource Guides. We'll travel north and see the works and hear the story of one of the masters of the Taos art community, Charles Collins. And we'll spend some time with Mark Johnson of LowEnchnus Construction, whose custom homes just might turn you green with envy. But first, let's get together with Clint Satterfield of BAC Roofing and some real people who have the last roof they'll ever own.
BAC Enterprises stands for Bill and Clint. My father and I, we're general contractors. The name was changed in 1983. Before that, it was Satterfield Construction, and my father had been a general contractor since 1968. The difference between BAC Enterprises and everyone else is the quality of our installs. We care what the product looks like, how the product performs. We don't want to ever have to see you again except for to thank you for referring us to another customer.
Every time I meet someone at a luncheon or dinner and their problems come up about their roof, they get a full BAC sales pitch, because what is there not to sell about BAC when it's professionally done, lifetime warranty, transferable. We bought this house new in '04, and from day one we had roof leaks. The builder and the roofer and most all the subs went bankrupt. So I got on the internet and that's how I found BAC. I then called for an appointment in Albuquerque, talked to Bill, the sales manager. He came out, we made the appointment. He was very professional. He gave us a quote on the spot after he went up and measured, naturally, the roof. And we knew from then on we'd made the right decision, and their crew that came out right on time was very professional.
Well, having been in real estate, I knew without a doubt how important it is to have a warranty for a buyer. The customer only wants what they ordered. And I find that so true of dealing with BAC.
And I like to go into homes and meet people and talk to them one-on-one. But we'll sit down at the kitchen table, find out about them, see who they are, and what their needs are.
I get to talk to numerous people. I love having one-on-one conversations with them. And I tell people this all the time. We go out and correct the sins of the past, if you will. We go out and fix roofs that were done wrong.
We had a membrane roof for nearly 10 years. Actually, we were 3 months short of the 10th anniversary. It had leaked from day one. The other company was out probably 4 times a year to repair the leaks. 2 years ago, we had a major leak, and it caused about $8,000 worth of damage. We heard about BAC through Angie's List. They arrived on schedule. Actually, they arrived about 5 minutes ahead of time and waited outside the gate, which was really kind of impressive. Anyway, they were very good, cleaned up everything. There was never a mess. You wouldn't even know they were here. The lifetime warranty means a lot to us. We don't want to put another roof on the house. And we're not exactly spring chickens anymore, so we want to make sure that this lasts for our lifetime anyway.
I think our first job with BAC was the new home we built in '09. I believe that was the first job we did with them. It was new construction, good sized hacienda style home that they came in and did a whole membrane roof on it. We've done a lot of remodel with them since. Basically, when I talk to a person about doing their home, I'll talk to them about different styles of roof that they can use. There's a lot of flat roofs in Santa Fe, as there is in Albuquerque. We've done a few metal and other roofs, but doing flat roofs, you have a couple different choices on what type of roof you're going to use. BAC has basically a lifetime material warranty. I believe it's 15-year transferable on labor and stuff. BAC roofing, in our experience, has been fabulous for taking care of our business.
Charles Collins is the most awarded artist in the history of the Taos Fall Arts Festival. His works were selected for a prestigious showing at the New Mexico Governor's Gallery, where former Governor Gary Johnson proclaimed a Charles Collins Day throughout New Mexico in his honor. He has been officially claimed a Taos Master by the Millicent Rogers Museum and was selected as the inaugural artist by Arlo Guthrie for the Guthrie Center in Massachusetts.
I was a little kid and I knew that I was going to be an artist. My mother was an artist, and it just seemed to be the right thing to do. My art conveys the interconnectedness of all life on the planet, and I feel as though that's the whole point of my art, is the interconnectedness of all life and all beauty and all the cultures. I moved here in 1976 and was attracted to Taos because it was an art colony and because there was a pottery here for sale. And I was a potter at the time and a painter. Sculpture is a very demanding medium, and so is painting, but physically the sculpture sometimes really is very difficult to work in, but you push through and create something that's never been created before. One of my favorite pieces is this bronze sculpture of Lincoln, the mastermind piece, and it represents, of course, how he united the whole country, and he had this unshakable vision, and it's about how we all fit together as Americans. This is a wax for my newest piece that hasn't even gone into bronze yet. And it's the face of William Shakespeare, and it's about the mastermind of literature. And I've chosen his play Julius Caesar to represent his mastermind. This is Caesar, and he has the traditional sword of Rome, and the helmet is the traditional helmet, and on his back is the coat of arms for William Shakespeare that he designed himself. In the center of the shield diagonally is a jousting lance with a pen quill on the tip, and on the top is an eagle holding the jousting lance with the pen quill. And then this is Mark Antony, who was also Cleopatra's husband, and on his back is the cartouche for Cleopatra and the Egyptian symbols. And then the center figure is Cleopatra herself, with the crown of Isis and the cobras that represent Upper and Lower Egypt. The Christ sculpture is, of course, about the mastermind of Christianity. And it was actually the whole concept for the mastermind collection, the paintings and everything. When he said, "Where two or more are gathered in my name, there am I in their midst also." And that's what that sculpture group is about. There's Simon Peter, who's carrying a basket full of fish, and there's John, who's carrying a basket full of bread, and then of course Mother Mary in prayer for humanity. Well, I think everything comes in layers. It's like the sun rises and the light becomes brighter and brighter and brighter, and through different shadows and filters you begin to see different images, and the light becomes to a certain place, and it's like, that's it. It is again about the power of love, because art creates something different, and if it's done in the right way, the vibration of the art is like having a presence in your house or in your room, and it's such a wonderful thing. It's to bring joy. And that's what my gallery is about too, is to bring joy to people who come in and to share it with them.
Up next, energy-efficient home building and with a New Mexico style.
What you don't need when it's time to close your mortgage is a nameless, faceless voice at the other end of a 1-800 number. What you do need is a licensed local loan officer who will attend your closing, sit with you, and answer every one of the questions that you will surely have as you read and sign over 57 legal documents. At Frost Mortgage, we're licensed, we're professional, and we're local. We don't just close loans, we open doors.
Who Rocks is asking you to save the date for the 2013 Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. The most spectacular sights and sounds that you'll ever see. And to get you ready for this year's Balloon Fiesta, Who Rocks New Mexico is going to share highlights of last year's event. Enjoy. In addition to filling Albuquerque skies with beautiful, colorful balloons, many pilots participate in various target-based flying competitions. Balloonists must launch at least 1 mile away from the targets and try to find the right winds in various altitudes to guide them close enough to drop markers onto targets. While at Balloon Fiesta, you may notice several small, slender balloons. These are commonly known as racers and are more maneuverable than traditional balloons. You'll see a lot of these racers descend on the various targets. One of the more difficult competitions is the ring toss, where close isn't good enough. Competitors must loop a ring over the top of a 30-foot pole. This is even harder than it looks. Only one balloonist was successful this year. Congratulations to Tom Forenz of Evergreen, Colorado. The granddaddy of all competitions at Balloon Fiesta is the America's Challenge Gas Balloon Race. 5 gas balloons competing this year from the United States, Great Britain, and for the first time, Russia.
My name is LowEnchnus, Russian pilot of gas balloon. And our team is first time in American Challenge Cup. And we are glad to fly and maybe to win.
The object of the race is actually quite simple. The balloon that lands farthest from the Balloon Fiesta Park is the winner. These balloons can fly for 4 days or more and end up thousands of miles from Albuquerque.
It's a survival type of sport. It's really hardcore. You know, your basic elements of like keeping warm. You're flying at altitude, so we have oxygen on board. The Fiesta does a great job. They're tracking us. We all carry trackers, and so you can go on the internet and you can follow where the balloons are. And we have balloonists from around the United States that are following the race, and they're watching. And if you're getting close to their area, you can bet they're in their car and they're driving, trying to find, where you're going to land and be the first one there.
This year's winners were Sherry White and Mark Sullivan, who flew 62 hours and 18 minutes and landed in North Carolina, a distance of 2,623 kilometers. That's just about 1,630 miles. Pairing today's technology and New Mexico's heritage when it comes to home building is exactly what LowEnchnus Construction is doing in New Mexico.
Well, we started the company in 1978. I moved here from California. I had a woodworking business in California. When I came to Dixon here, I got interested in Spanish colonial furniture. I was able to rent a room in the old Catholic school building. Subsequently, we got recognized for our fine woodworking skills, and that grew into the custom home market. We hold licenses in general building, in mechanical contracting, and plumbing, and electrical contracting, and solar PV and solar thermal services. We're real service oriented. We have people that we've built houses for 25 years ago that still call us back to do additions.
Mark's attention to detail was incredible, because what I do is detail only. And Mark's understanding of detail and being a cabinet maker and understanding the process was flawless. It's incredible. The service is always there. To give you a good example, when the gas went out here in northern New Mexico, it was out for a week. Mark, unsolicited, went and bought as many electric heaters as he could, and unasked, he came here and delivered 2 heaters. And he did that with most of his clients.
We've always grown within our means over the years. We've never borrowed money. We've never been under a lot of stress. Our price markup is 7%. That is way different than a lot of other companies, and we've been able to do that because we've never tried to get rich on one job.
His markup is very reasonable. I think it's probably too low, to be perfectly honest. He does a great job. I would highly recommend him.
One of the things that draws folks to our company is that it is a family-owned business. My father-in-law, Mark, he has owned and operated Los Ebanistas for over, since the 1970s, and he has always worked closely with his clients. My husband, Zach, does cabinet making, home building, and he also is involved in the solar aspect of the business.
Since I was a little kid, I've been working with my dad in this shop, watching him tinker with woodworking tools my whole life, and I finally graduated school and came back to start woodworking with my dad and took it up, and I really enjoy what we do, making cabinets. And now what's very exciting is getting into the solar industry, that we get to talk about these new technologies in solar and get to install systems on these people's homes, and it's a very empowering job after you see that meter turn backwards.
What we have behind us here is the Taos Charter School Community Solar Array. It's a 100 kilowatt project. It's the first project in all of New Mexico to be a community solar array. The nice thing about this concept, the community solar concept, is that it allows consumers who may not have an ideal location for solar at their residence or business to participate in a solar program. And what it does is a consumer for either their home or business is allowed to purchase either one panel, 5 panels, or even 10 panels. Once they purchase the panel, they are able to realize the same utility credits as if it were at their own home. So their bill is going to decrease without even having to have a solar system installed at their house.
It's time to dispel the myth that solar is too expensive. In just the last few years, solar costs have dropped about 2/3. Making a residential system an 8 or 9 year payback and a business system 5 or 6 year payback. And then for the next 25 or 30 years after that, you'll have free electricity. The time is right for solar. Let us help you become more environmentally friendly, help your pocketbook, and improve the value of your home.
Up next, cowboy crooner and savvy businessman.
If green is your thing, you'll want to attend Albuquerque Business First Sustainable Business Summit Awards Luncheon and Expo, Thursday, August 29th at the Crowne Plaza. This half-day Green Business Conference will feature panel discussions and presentations by New Mexico's top performers in sustainable buildings, businesses, products, services, and workplaces. Join us as we learn from and award those for whom green is not just a buzzword. That's Thursday, August 29th at the Crowne Plaza. To register, go to albuquerquebusinessfirst.com/events.
Hi, I'm Doug Wilson, the owner of American Tire and Service. Do you know what makes a great mechanic? What makes one shop better than another? Training is mighty important. Certification? You bet. Experience? The more the better. Knowledge? Cars are complicated nowadays, and believe me, these mechanics need to know a lot. But do you know what really makes a great mechanic? Heart. It's a passion that drives the mechanic to do the right thing every time. At American Tire, it's the first thing we look for in a mechanic. Of course they have the training, the certifications, the experience, and the knowledge. But heart is what makes it all work for you and for us. Our entire team is dedicated to professional service. We all know that's what it takes to bring you back. We've been helping people like you for over 25 years. We're locally owned and proud to serve you. Come ask for me by name, Doug Wilson. I'd love to serve you.
American Tire and Service on Highway 528 between Southern and Northern. The only guys for you.
Bob Farrell, publisher, balladeer, and businessman, and his publications, the Albuquerque Business Resource Guide and My ABQ Guide, are a hit with local businesses.
Jason Mayer and myself, we worked for a national company out of San Diego doing military and chamber relocation guides, and we decided to start our own publication in Las Vegas for a niche that wasn't there and was serving all the business community. Everywhere that somebody moves, they really need a relocation guide to help them get acclimated to the new area. So we found it wasn't just Las Vegas that could use both of these type of publications, it was every major city that we went to.
In 2008 is when Bob kind of approached me about the idea of starting the Business Resource Guide, or starting a publication in general, and we kind of put together all of the experiences we'd had. Bob is very passionate about connecting people, and that's what makes him a great salesperson.
There are no other magazines that are specifically and uniquely about businesses. So we chose Business Resource Guide because it was a unique publication about businesses. Not only are we pleased with the Business Resource Guide, but during the Business Resource Guide, he also created My ABQ Guide. I'm not here to try to sell Bob. Bob sells himself. He is, what you see is what you get. We continue to advertise because we like the results.
I'd like to introduce you to Kathy Bomsey. She's our Director of Business Development. She's been with the company now for 2 years, just had her anniversary with us, and she does a great job of cultivating business in town.
One of my main tasks is to bring in new clients for Business Resource Guide and My ABQ Guide. I feel proud to stand behind both our publications. I feel proud to have my name on the masthead. I feel they're quality publications and that there's really nothing else like them in town.
You know, I clearly would recommend the Albuquerque Business Resource Guide for businesses looking to work with other businesses. I think it's an excellent way of reaching out to the business community here. Actually, with the relocation guide, we have used it for recruitment of employees that might be moving to town.
As an Air Force veteran, there are a lot of things that I hold dear to me, and one of the things I was doing while I was working here is trying to find what's really important to me, and I found this organization called Paws and Stripes, and they take care of military veterans as well as dogs and animals. They help save both of those.
Paws and Stripes is a nonprofit organization that provides service dogs to disabled veterans who are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder as well as traumatic brain injuries. What Bob's told us is that he's found a spot in his heart for Paws and Stripes. To be quite honest with you, I have a lot of people that I bump into, especially in the Albuquerque area, that all of a sudden they see the Paws and Stripes truck and they're bringing up the whole, you know, we saw your article in the Business Resource Guide, and I was like, wow, okay, that's kind of cool. And then you start to realize that we would have never been able to touch these people if it wasn't for that publication. You know, life has a way of coming full circle, and with the help of Bob and the Business Resource Guide and the publication, we've been able to get out and really touch a lot more individuals as far as with what Paws and Stripes does and our mission statements.
Bob Farrell, the musician. I have been playing music my first time on stage. My father was a musician in the Boston area. It's my one release where I can say I'm away from work. I think about just music, and it's a wonderful thing.
Dreams I've always had are coming true. A heart that was alone and beats for two. A life I'll share with you till the end of time. Thank God it all came together to make you mine. So many things had to happen just to make one chance. More than just a random act. Circumstance, I guess the angels up above put in some overtime, so it all came together, and now I find.
No water in Elephant Butte Lake? Who's kidding who? Coming up next.
Need office space? 3791 Southern Boulevard in Rio Rancho represents an outstanding value in office space in the heart of Rio Rancho's business district. With clean and versatile space available, 3791 Southern Boulevard is a 2-story office building and offers good visibility with signage opportunities for tenants. There's plenty of space available in the building, and ample parking is provided at no additional charge. For more information, call David at 505-259-3706.
This month at Frost Mortgage, we are offering our clients 3.5% 30-year fixed-rate mortgages. Do you have a 3.5% mortgage? If not, call Frost Mortgage and get one.
Well, they say the water level in Elephant Butte Lake is down, and I want you to know that Who Rocks New Mexico traveled south to find out for ourselves the shocking truth coming up. It's been called the Jewel of the Desert, the largest body of water in New Mexico, surrounded by 200 miles of shoreline. And for camping, fishing, boating, water skiing, jet skiing, and just plain outdoor fun, the Elephant Butte Recreation Area is one big summer party for all ages.
What makes Elephant Butte Lake so great to recreate is the multitude of opportunities for people. There are many things to do on the lake. You can fish, there's swimming, there's wakeboarding, there's wake surfing, there's water skiing, and there's just hanging out. All those things are options on the lake.
Fishing right now is excellent here at Elephant Butte. Crappie, some of the biggest crappie I've ever seen come out of the lake has come out this year. I caught some from 1 pound to 2 pounds, and there was a 4-pound crappie came out of here.
We have most of the bass species represented in the lake. The striped bass is the big guy. They'll run this big, and they will. The lake record is 55 and change. There's also black bass, smallmouth bass, and the white bass. We've been in the top 10 in the country for white bass a number of years. Have some excellent guides here. These are the fishermen that are on the lake every day, whether they have a guide or not. They love to fish and they love to take people out and fish. The guides are very effective. When you go out with them, you generally catch fish.
This lake, whether it's up or down, doesn't make any difference. There's more shoreline here than you can even imagine covering in a day's time. And with it down like this, you have some sandy beaches that are just absolutely excellent to beach your boat and get out on and enjoy yourself.
Elephant Butte Lake is one of the few places in the country where you can come and park your tent or your RV right next to the water. You have your own beachfront property.
We've been coming here 20 years, and when we retired, we said that's where we're going to retire because we have the lake, the golf course, great shopping, and all kinds of off-roading activities and museums. When we first came here, the lake was full over the spillway, and we didn't have any beaches to camp on, and it was a little bit bigger lake, but even at the lowest level, this is the largest lake in New Mexico. Plenty of water, we don't have a shortage of beaches or anything. It's just a tremendous lake.
Well, that's Who Rocks for this week. I hope you liked the show as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. For more information on the Who Rocks segments or to find out how your organization can rock New Mexico, we invite you to go online to whorocksnm.com. I'm Richard Holcomb, inviting you to join us again next week for another Who Rocks New Mexico. Have a great week, everybody.